I thought we did what we aspired to do today, which come out with a lot of energy, a lot of effort, and a little bit of enthusiasm. We have not played, with any energy, the first couple of weeks, and that's something that our guys kind of challenged each other, and we challenged them. We challenged ourselves as coaching staff, and I thought we responded. Have a lot of respect for Rice. Coach Bailiff, like it's a known fact over the last 4 years, I think, they've won as many games as anybody in the state of Texas except us. So they've got a program that's going well, and they're doing a great job. He's a great man, and they got a great staff, and they do an unbelievable job with their personnel. So it's a good win. Anytime you play an in-state university, it's always hard. If you're asking me, I'd play bordering state schools all the time over in-state schools just because, there's a lot of built-in rivalries. 20 years ago, this conference game, I guess in 1995, so it was a conference game, and so it hadn't been that long. But good win. I thought we did well defensively, after they came out and ran the kickoff back and got a touchdown out of that. After that, I don't know. I hadn't looked at it, but I would guess, 5 out of the next 6 series, they were probably, negative yards or 3 and outs. And if the defense gives the offense the ball that many times, there's going to be some points scored for Baylor, and that's just kind of how it worked out. Didn't really feel comfortable until we got away from them a little bit in the second half. When they came out and we fumbled the ball, opened the drive second half and scored, closed it back, I think, to a 25-point ball game, and then, we went down the field, I think, in about 3 plays and scored, which separated a little bit. But in today's game, it used to be if you're ahead 21 points, people get a Coke. Today, it's 21's nothing. It's a tie ball game. So you got to be up, 35-42, I think, to feel like maybe you got a chance to hang on and win. And we've, unfortunately been up by 20 before late in the game and not held on. So that's just the way the game is today. People are trying to score, and they have good people, and they can come get you. But good win, great win for Baylor. Beautiful day, sailgating, unbelievable. The crowd that was here was great. Admire our student section, all those people in the sun over there all day, and really appreciate them. It's a big win for Baylor, and we know we got a tough game next week against Texas Tech.
Coach Tim O'Donnell, News Channel 25. You talk about Texas Tech. How important was it to get a complete team win, especially today heading into conference play next week?
I would call this a pretty close to a complete win. There's always some things. Penalties are still an issue, not just a little bit of an issue, but an issue. A couple breakdowns here and there, fumble, but other than that, a pretty good team win. We understand the competition is going to get higher, the stakes are higher, and the emotions are going to run higher. The thing that helps us is that, we've been on those high notes before the last 2 years. And so instead of kind of being the hunted so much, it kind of equals out when you get into conference play, because we're all playing for those gold or those, glass trophies that I got sitting in my office. We're all playing for the same thing. So we got a little bit of a hunt in us, coming this week.
Jerry Hill, Baylor Bear Insider. Art, can you talk about just the defense, the way it played today compared to those last 2 games, particularly in the first half? Seems like in the past you've had to adjust, but today they came out and played pretty well from the beginning.
They did a great job. We got good people, we got good coaches, we got good schemes, and we have a great home field advantage. Somebody pointed out to me the other day, we got the longest home win streak in America. There's 120-something, universities that play, and we got the longest. So that's a big deal. We're good at home, and we're good on the road, but we're really, really good at home. And so that just all bodes well if you're a Baylor Bear. But I think the defense, was borderline dominant at times. Billings made some huge plays. Okie Doke was great. I thought Palmer was the best he had been. I thought Bo made some plays. Our guys up front really made some plays and kept a lot of pressure on their quarterback, because he's good. Jackson's good. 28 TDs, 9 picks last year, and leads them, to a bowl win. So, the guy's a good football player. He's a fifth-year guy at Cedar Hill, won a state championship in high school.
Nick Canizales, KCN coach, 427 yards on the ground. 2 things. 1, how important was it to establish that run in the early going? And 2, how much does it want to rip the rest of your hair out, 14 penalties today?
Rest of my hair? I appreciate it. That's a compliment. That's a compliment. So I appreciate that. I mean, it's, if we're gonna find things wrong with winning 70-17 or 23 or whatever it was, I mean, that's it. I mean, so do I like it? No. Is it acceptable? No. Is it something we work on? Yes. Has it made a difference? Doesn't look like it. But we're not going to sit in the corner and wait for things to happen and turn the light on and then take a step. We're going to walk out of the corner. We're going to go in the dark room, and we're going to have our chest out, and we're going to attack what's ever there. So when you do that, then you're going to have some penalties, and you live with them. They've hurt us. They've cost us football games. But I'll take our style of play.
All right, David Smoke, you talked about getting that edge back and that you wanted it back. How difficult was that, or was that difficult?
Oh, it's been difficult. It's been extremely difficult, and it's been personally difficult. And my job's not to be personal. My job's to be professional. So I had to quit pouting, quit acting like a baby, and I had to be a man. And that's what I did. So I'm back to being a football coach representing Baylor University, what they hired me to do, loving our student athletes, and doing the best I can do to help them to be successful on and off the football field. That's where I'm at.
Coach, any injuries today?
Yeah, actually, Byron Bonds broke his hand. I think they're going to do surgery tomorrow, and I think he's going to be ready to go this week. That's only update. Tootie, Davian Hall kind of hurt his back a little bit early in the game, that's why he didn't play much after that. But it's just spasms, and we think that he'll be ready to go for practice Tuesday. We certainly hope so. He's both those guys are integral parts of our football team.
John Order, Waco Trib. All right, Seth, 12 completions, 6 touchdowns, no interceptions. That's kind of what you're looking for as far as efficiency, isn't it?
Yeah, it's real good. We really didn't get to throw the ball as much as we'd like to. I mean, honestly, we just didn't do it. And a lot of it's scheme, what they took away from us from a throwing standpoint kind of forced us to run the football. But he was very efficient. He made some really good throws early. I mean, the throw to Jay Lee across the middle was just a phenomenal throw. The one to KD, the first touchdown there was a great ball. So he really, really made some good throws. He missed 2 throws, I mean, just out of nowhere. I've seen him throw, he'll throw, 70, 60, 40, that's 170 balls, from Tuesday to Thursday in practice every week. And I've never seen him throw 2 throws like he did out there today. So I don't know what was going on there. I guess the ball was, I don't know what was going on, but came right back the next series and took over. And that's the only time we punted all night was on that series when he missed those 2 throws. But, 12, completion, 6 TDs. Yeah, we'll take the 6 TD part every day. That's pretty unheard of.
We got time for 2 more questions. Larry Little, Baylor Bear Insider. Coach, you've had a few accomplished receivers in your time here. Coleman, is he playing as well as any of them have in your time here?
I think as an underclassman, and unfortunately he's a junior, 4th-year junior. But, Kendall Wright was just, the best guy in America as a senior, 21st pick in the draft. Terrence Williams, 1,800-yard receiver, goes 3rd round. The Cowboys dropped a little bit. Both those guys were really phenomenal. I may be leaving 1 or 2 out, but, those are big-time players. But Corey, he's got a great ability to be, to be able to do numerous things besides just be a receiver. And that's kind of what separates him. He's a, fearless blocker. He's a tough runner. His yards after catch are probably as physically as good as anybody that I've ever been around, because he doesn't have to just rely on speed. He can rely on toughness and just an outstanding desire, not to get tackled. And like his punt return today, there's 4 guys that hit him and they don't get him. So when he catches the ball, he's got a chance to make a play after the catch, and I think that's kind of what separates him from a lot of receivers.
Bryce Cherry, Waco Trib. Coach, you mentioned the guys up front on defense in the game they had. Oakman today tied the career record for sacks at Baylor.
His own record, or?
No, I mean, he moved into a tie. With,
his career sack record.
Yeah, career sacks. And it looked like he had his motor going early in the game. I mean, is that the key for him, is just, playing with that kind of motor all game?
Yeah, I think so. I think 2 weeks ago, I think they schemed away from him, ran away from him, sprinted away from him most time they threw the ball. Rice stayed in the pocket, which allows him more opportunities to get sacks. It'd be tough against Tech. They get the ball out real fast, so they're a hard team to really get a sack on. But he's good. He's really, really good, and that's what allows him to do things. He's got great length, he's got great passion, great energy, he's got great strength, and he cares a whole lot about being great. So that allows for very good production. And while we're talking about lines, I think our offensive line today was as solid as they've been. When you can rush the ball for 400-plus yards, I'm not sure Seth got sacked at all. It's a big-time deal. Doesn't matter, who you're playing. So hopefully that's a trend that should continue, because it's like I was talking to him last night in our team meeting. In 2011, 4 out of those guys are in college, 4 out of the 5. Kyle Fuller started in 12. But every one of those guys were in a college somewhere at 11. They all weren't here. Blake Muir wasn't here. Broxton wasn't here. But Pat and Spencer were here. But they were all in college somewhere in 2011. Well, it's 2015. That wasn't yesterday. So we have some experience, and those guys have been around a little bit, and they should play good. Or well, if you're an English teacher, which I am.